boy CV Tech One, coming at you live and direct once again with my brother Gio. And this is episode 6.
Whole ships.
We're here. We're
We made
finally
it.
here.
I know.
Hey man,
Small
episode 6 is a
milestones
lot.
and big milestones. Yeah, for sure.
This is huge.
Yeah.
And hopefully a few months from now we're like, oh, 600 episode.
Hey.
Maybe we'll see. All right. Well, to start this episode is going to be just want to share a little news, things that happened. I just want to say rest in peace to one of our uncle who passed Tuesday. His funeral was today, so I just want to say rest in peace. He was a good guy. I know him. I knew him very close as a kid. Helped me out a lot. So I just want to say rest in peace to one of our uncle that passed away Tuesday. And I also want to say rest in peace to BBT's father. BBT's been supporting my streams and also the pod for a while now. And I've known BBT roughly 7 years online. I consider her an actual friend. She's one of those people that actually purchased a few things from my business. And also, I've gotten some beautiful gifts from her and her boyfriend as well. So, just want to say rest in peace to BBT's father. Um, it's very sad, especially when her father talked to her. I think it was, I would say Monday. I think it was Monday, and she took a phone call from her mom, and her mom was so excited she purchased a new iPhone. And I'm in the chat, and the mic is picking up the conversation, and I said, "Hey, say hello to your mom and pop." And he was so excited. He said he's gonna start exercising, get healthy, and he was so happy that the wife got the new phone too. And it's weird. And a few days later, he passed. So
That's crazy.
rest in peace. Yeah. So stuff like that gets me thinking, Gio. Like, I don't know. Do you ever think of like what do you do with your time? Just because like death is, you just don't know when it's your time or somebody you love. You ever think about like what am I doing with my time? Do I do what makes me happy? Do I do what makes others happy? Do you ever think about stuff like that?
Yeah, I think about it all the time. My thing is, I'm going through a period like that too in transition, right? And then when you get to a certain age, you are you come to a point where you start thinking about what's really really important, right? It's when you're young, it's important to grind, put in work, like
Yeah.
think of tomorrow, right? If you're thinking of tomorrow and you focus on getting things done today, but there's always a moment to kind of sit back and just relax. Like, why am I doing all this? Take a break. Have a balance in your life. Appreciate those that are around you, right? And I think I was just talking to somebody recently, and I said, "Yeah, the destination is great. Like, hey, I want to be rich. I want to be famous someday, right?
Mm,
But appreciate the steps that you're taking, the good, the bad, and all the journeys, the left turns and the U-turns and the you know what I mean, to go back and go look at that thing again or revisit it. That's what's really important, right?
yeah.
Because you can grind all day and get to the fame and all that stuff, and then you're like by yourself or you didn't appreciate the journey. It's about sitting back and appreciating that. You know what I mean? So I do that a
Yeah.
lot, especially now that I'm in another stage. Is like I'm willing to take less money doing something if that means that I can spend more time with myself. I can spend more time with my family and my loved ones and my friends. You know what I'm saying? I grinded for 20 years and
Right.
made myself a comfortable situation where now I can look forward and start giving back and appreciating even more.
Mm. And the fact that you said, like, spend time with your family, right? Like, I always hear people say, well, I got 24 hours in a day. It's how you use it, type of thing, which sounds great. But, you know, if you sit back and you think about it, you work for 8 hours, you try to get 10 hours sleep. That's almost 15 to 18 hours gone right there, right? And then you may
Yep.
have 2 more hours to do, maybe watch a movie, something to relax. If you have kids, it's even more. Um, so that 24 hours can quickly be taken away, and you might have 3 4 hours if to kind of do what you want. So I will say, hey man, enjoy that little time because you just never know, man. And I'll say this: if you're listening to this and somebody comes to your mind or a name of a person, maybe you should give that person a call and just say what's up. Or and if you think you can't say what's up to that person, start with "I'm sorry, what's up, love you, miss you." Because I think, like I said, it's tomorrow's not promised, but try to enjoy. And when it comes to time as well, too, if you enjoy something, do that more. Like if something brings you joy and it's vacation, try to do it more if you can. If it's traveling, go ahead, do it. If it's helping others, do it more. So whatever brings you joy, try to do that as much as you can because you just never know if you're going to get a chance to do that again. So, um, but yeah, rest in peace to our uncle and also BBT's father, man. All right, let's keep it moving. So I was talking to one of my mods, Gio, Gabby, and I said something to her, and she was like, "Is that one of your pet peeve?" Because I was watching a broadcast and I was telling her about something. She's like, "Hey, maybe you guys should talk about it on the show. Like, what is a pet peeve of yours?" So I'll go right to you, man. Do you have any pet peeves? Something that just it annoys you? Anything?
I mean, people who know me will probably say I'm not relaxed, but when it comes to stuff like that, it's not a lot. But I think off the top of my head, I would say, when you're driving, right, and you're at a stop sign or at a light or at an intersection, and someone's coming from your left to your right, and they put their blinker on, right, and they don't friggin' turn, and they don't turn, bro. That make that because
You're
now
just
even
waiting.
yeah, because now if they are turning, right, I'm waiting until I see the car actually turn because I've seen a lot of experiences where like that person's got the blinker on, but they don't turn. You know what I mean? And if I go like I'm screwed, right? I'm wrong for jumping in front of them, right? So that's one of them, and the other one is the same kind of thing. It's like you're on the highway, someone puts on the blinker, and I'm just like watching your freaking blinker in
Oh my
front of
god!
me, and I'm just like, pay attention, like do something, like so.
Wait,
Mine are
is
along
that
the lines.
is that OCD though?
I don't know. It's not because one, it's
Oh,
distracting. The first one is a safety issue. Don't don't leave your blinker on because people. That's the purpose of like letting other. That's how you communicate. Hey everybody, I'm turning right.
no.
Hey everybody, I'm turning right, and you go straight. You son of a thing.
That
But
is dangerous though. That is dangerous
right,
though.
there's a safety issue. That's why that makes me mad. And the other one is just put the. I've done it. I yell at myself when I put the blinker on and I already turned and I'm still blinking. I get it, but it's a small thing. But yeah, that's
Do
those are
you
two things traffic wise.
do you have road rage at all?
You know what? That's a good question. I don't have road rage. I kind of did at one point. I even have a pretty funny ass story way back when a road rager. You want to hear the story? Fuck, I'll tell it.
Do
So
tell.
So apparently I cut somebody off, right? So this guy, like I turned in front of him. I thought I had plenty of, I had my rice rocket, my Honda Civic EX Coupe, 2-door, tinted windows with, suited up, all that stuff. So
Hmm.
I pulled out in front of him, but I had plenty of space. He wasn't gonna hit me, but he must have been upset, right? So he's upset and he's following me. I'm like, is this dude following me? And
Yeah.
this is '05, right? It's a long time ago, right?
Hmm.
Before the world got stupid crazy, right? So, and I'm thinking, I don't have any weapons. I don't know how crazy this person is. I'm just thinking defensively, and I'm like, I'm just gonna pull up to where I work because I was going to work. And so I pulled up so that way there's more people around or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's just not me and him in an alley. You know what I mean? That's just not smart. So I pull up in
Yeah.
an area, and as soon as I park, I open up my car door and I had nunchucks in my dash. I had nunchucks in my dash, and because Halloween had just passed, and I was just Bruce Lee, right? So that's why it was in my car. I don't drive around with nunchucks in my car, right? That's not how it works. But still, that's all I got. I'm gonna fight with what I got. You know what I mean? one mind, any weapon. That's what Marines say, right? So I got my nunchucks. I open the door. He comes out and he starts yelling, and I bust out the nunchucks on that dude, right? And I was like, you got a fucking problem? You got a problem? So
Bro.
I swear to God, and it was off of road rage. So like that happened. He got in his car and left. He didn't want no smoke from the chucks.
Do you still have that same car?
No, I don't. I had that car for a long time though, man. That was my baby, man. That
All
was
right.
my
Well,
first car that I paid for.
those that are listening, I was gonna say just look out for this car because you might
No.
get nunchuck because this dude's writing dirty with a weapon.
Oh, and then 2 weeks after that, I got pulled over, and when I went to go open the glove box, the cop saw the nunchucks and drew the gun out on me. So
Wow.
talk about that, and try to charge me for having illegal weapon possession in the car. Nunchucks, see-through plastic nunchucks, like hard plastic though. Nunchucks. Try to
Is
charge me for that.
is nunchucks illegal?
It's a weapon, and she just trumped up charges. I
But
got off
a
on. I got
rock could be a weapon though. What
Yeah,
if you
I'm
had
a
a rock
weapon.
in the car?
I'm a weapon. I'm in the car and I'm a goddamn weapon.
Yeah, how would I don't know. That's
Charge me
weird.
double. But that's what happened. But there's a lot to that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of sidebar stuff. But no, I do not have road rage, and this is more of a recent, the last 4 years. My mentality of it is when somebody like cuts me off, or if someone does something that would normally cause someone to have road rage, I think more of a compassionate mentality. He or she just got a phone call that someone is in the hospital. They're trying to get to the hospital, right? So like that's a lot better than honking the horn and cussing and chasing them and getting into a gunfight or a nunchuck fight. It's not worth it. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean? So
think
that's
the
what I
same
think about.
thing. Yeah, I think even worse. I'm like, what if this person's running to pick up their kid from somewhere?
Right.
They just got fired, or somebody just said, "Yo, your mom got cancer." Like, I think the worst thing. So you're just like, go ahead, because
Yeah.
if you beep the horn just a little, like a light beep beep, that's a what's up. But
The
when you
long one. Yeah.
bro, like
Yeah.
that, you're talking to me.
Yeah. You're swearing at me. You're flipping me off and you're hitting me with all the swear words. Yeah. You're mad. I know.
Oh, you're
Um,
calling me everything in the book when you do that.
Absolutely. And
Um,
I live in Texas, right? So people
oh,
they're out here, man. You know what I mean? But they don't play around out here.
go ahead. I'm pulling over. You go.
I know. We have a Mexican standoff as you in your car, I'm in my car. We're just like, you shoot first. No, you shoot first.
I'll be
It's
8 cars behind you. Don't worry about it, dude.
I know it's not worth it, man. Just think about it like that. You know what I mean? Be like, all right, God bless them or whatever, or bless them if you're not religious, or just be like, just understand that maybe they're going through some stuff. Let them have the road. They need it that bad, you can have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh, real quick, I gotta add it. Pet peeve. You know when there's traffic, right? And
bro.
the
Is
right
everything with driving with you? Oh my
probably,
god.
but listen, because this one popped up. And this one should be number one ish to me because I'm a passive driver. I'm a defensive driver. I'll let anybody in. You know what I'm saying? But you know when you get caught in traffic and the sign's like, "Hey, the left lane ends in 500 feet." I don't like those people that wait to the very end and then try to sneak in. Like, no, you should have got in way back there. Don't. But I'll let them in now. But like I'm saying, that stuff made me mad. Don't do that. If you do that, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, I remember one of the worst times, bro. I remember when my girlfriend came by my job and she was like, "Oh, let's go get something to eat real quick since it's lunchtime." So she's passing by. I was like, "Cool." I get in with her. She gets to the light. I was like, I got about half an hour. And it was a green light. She's honking the horn. I mean, she did the fa, bro, and she was 8 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Dudes came out the car.
Mm-mm.
I blacked out, got out the car, ready to fight. I mean, and she's pregnant, so I'm like, this is go time. And then when I came out, they didn't know there was a dude in the car, and I was like, yo, you better watch out. Next time, it could be her. I'm like, bro. So
Mm-hmm.
till this day, I tell my girl that I was like, yo, you were pregnant with my kid. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
imagine if I wasn't there because the dude was like, next time it's her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So till this day, I always tell her, just think about that. And she finally stopped doing that. But yeah, that is dangerous though, man. I was love that.
Yeah, I tell my wife that too. She's the
Yeah.
same way. She'll slam the horn like no one's business, and she's ready to fight though. She'll shoot somebody.
Yeah, but you just don't know how people are these days,
No, I
man.
get it. It is a serious
It
situation. You know what I mean? But like,
the
just
mental part of things, like you said, somebody could have just got fired, man. They're like, God damn it, how am I gonna pay this bills? And now I gotta
yeah.
go home and break it down to somebody. Or maybe they were just cheating, they trying to get home, so many things happening, man. But I don't know what that was with you with just driving and roads and cars with your pet peeves, but mine is like it's simple. Mine is like, listen, if I'm eating and you burp, I may not talk to you for a few days. And
Oh man.
there's different type of burps. There's burps that comes from the core and you do it as if like you're in a competition. You do that, we're done. And the other burp is just because you say excuse me doesn't make it okay to me.
Right. You
I'll let you get away with it, but if you do it 3 times and you say, "Oh, excuse me," no, you used it
yeah.
up. There's no more excuse me. You're purposely doing this. If it slips, that's different,
A 10-second burp and then excuse me after. You know what I mean?
bro. You can't just burp around me and then just keeps it. To me, it's like saying sorry. Like at that point, it doesn't matter. I don't care how many times you say sorry. If you were sorry, you wouldn't do it again. But if it slips, I get it. But there's been some people who just you can tell. I can tell when a burp is from the core,
And when it's an
like
accidental slip.
when
Yeah.
it's accident. And I'm saying excuse me every time you do it doesn't really help. Try your best. If you cover your mouth, you're making an effort.
Mhm.
It's the ones that don't cover their mouth that really triggers me. So yeah, mine
Que-
is pretty simple. But
I
yeah, go
got a
ahead.
question. I got a question. So, in certain in certain cultures or whatever, burping is a sign as the food was good and it went down good, and it's like compliments of the chef. So, like to
Who
you, that if
who
you
said
cook
that?
and some,
Who
I
said that?
I don't know where it's at. I'm not going to call out a culture of people, but I have heard through the grapevine that that's a thing. You burp and you're like, compliments to the chef because that means you ate till you're full and you're full. You know what I mean? You're good.
Well, in CV text culture, don't do it.
Even if you
Don't do
cook.
it.
If I'm like, burp, oh, that was some good food you made there. You're like, get out of my
Listen,
house. Get out.
if you eat my food and you pass out, that's a compliment.
Okay. In your culture,
Burping,
passing out is a compliment. Gotcha.
that's a compliment. Burping, no. And this other one. Okay, this is probably okay. So I have so many, but this one really gets to me. If I go in the shower and I turn my shower on, or just turn the faucet and the water comes out of the shower first, I'm fighting somebody, dude. When I turn it on, it needs to come out of the the bottom, not the shower. You never run into that?
You mean if someone leaves the switch to shower and not
Yes. And my head is like this, and it could be like 5 in the morning, and I'm just turning it on, and then the cold water hits your back. I'm hitting somebody, dude.
for I wouldn't have
Granted,
that issue because I run the water
you turn
first
it
to
on
make sure it's
first.
yeah, I don't play around.
I don't do that. I go in, and most of the time, every
You're
time I
asking for
go,
trouble. You're asking for trouble. That's your fault. I blame
bro, I
you. Be mad
I
at
can't.
yourself. Be mad at yourself.
True, but I can't
Yep.
stand it.
Yeah, well, fool you once, right? Shame on them. You do it twice, that's on you.
No, I'm not changing. They need to fix it.
That's what you know what? That's an argument for another situation,
No,
but that
but
I
that
got
is
you.
true though. You know what it is though? It's that 5:30 in the morning, waking up. I'm just like, oh man, I gotta go. And I go right to it, and then blow, that cold water on my back, dude. Oh my god, man. I just can't stand it. Um, what about if you find like a piece of hair in your food, man? Do
Uh
you continue to eat the food?
damn, we going deep on some of the I got some comments coming in through the whatchamacallit, GA over here just jumping in the conversation. I like it. Well, see if
We
you
can
can put
answer it
that on.
after.
Yeah, so to be honest, lately, I,
Oh boy.
it depends. But like, okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Bro,
Hold on.
if you find a piece of hair in food,
I mean, I'm gonna eat it. I'm good. I'm
ah,
fine.
you're
I'm
gonna
pull it out.
eat.
I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna keep eating. Okay. And it depends. Like if it's like a long, huge pube, I'm just saying I've done it. It's not like it's all circumstantial and situational. One, you gotta understand. Like
That's nasty, dude.
I've been put in
Lice.
I've been put in situations in life where you just gotta do what you gotta do, right? So it doesn't mean I'm gross. It doesn't mean I'm disgusting. It just means that I don't really fucking care.
Gio, you've been put in in those type of position. Yes, I understand. But when you're at home, in the comfort of your home, you have a choice to make, bro. It's
Yeah.
not prison where you're like, you know what? I gotta eat. Oh, there's no food. You have choices. You just said, I'm gonna finish it.
Yeah. What are you doing? Throwing up? What are you doing?
Um, honestly, let me tell you something.
Oh
Honestly,
yeah. So now
wait.
now you want to tell me something? A minute ago you were
I
just
do.
judging me. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It depends on the food. If the food is
See,
if the food is slamming, I'm not gonna say it to nobody. I'm just gonna wipe it off and just
so you're
continue
saying it's
eating.
circumstantial, like I just mentioned, right? Yours is on the taste of the
Yeah.
food. Mine is on like the quality of the pube.
Wait. No.
Write
If
that
it's
down. I'm a
pube,
poet. Let make it happen. I'm
no.
sorry.
If it's pube, no, there's nothing. What do you mean pube? I never said pubes.
I'm just saying
If
because
I know
everyone.
it's pubes,
That's what
it's
everyone thinks.
done.
Hold on. Hold on. That's what
This man
everyone
said
thinks.
pubes. We
Soon
ain't
as you
doing
see a
pubes.
hair, as soon as you see a hair in the food, that's the first. It's the first thing everyone's thinking about. At least that's what I'm thinking about.
I don't.
Now I'm just like, whatever. Take it out. I'm not eating it.
Wait. How do you know when it's pubes though? Is it
I
the
don't.
length?
I'm not a pube expert. That's not. I'm
But
not.
then how do you know
Why?
if it's long? How do
I
you know it's
just know.
pubes?
I'm assuming it's not. That's why I'm okay with it.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know
You
you
ever
brought this
had
up.
you ever had a little bit of hair on your tongue? Or you just
We're talking about food still. Or what the fuck? What are we talking
yeah.
about?
We're talking about food. As you're eating the food, you can feel
Yeah,
that.
I
That's
mean
disgusting.
that's happened and that is gross. But like I'm talking about most of the time, if it's in the food, I see it and it's small or whatever. I got time for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here
Exactly.
and I'm not gonna be like, if I'm at a public place, oh, I'm not the one to make that. I don't. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
Just a little extra DNA. You'll be all right.
Extra DNA. It's other people's DNA I don't need in my life though.
Oh, but here's hey, let me tell you something. But the Italian guy, the big burly Italian guy with hairy knuckles, flipping his dough before he makes it, and it's hitting his forearm. You know what I mean? And he's wiping his nose, and he making you a pizza. But you okay with that? You don't. They don't
But
use
I
gloves.
but
That
I
guy
don't
put
know that.
pepperoni on it.
If I haven't seen it, then that must be the secret sauce. But if I see
Okay,
it,
so if you
I'm
don't, yeah,
good.
I guess that's true. I mean, that's one way to look at it.
Yeah.
I'm just like I see it, and I'm just like whatever. You know what I mean?
So you over here just eating pubes and ketchup, huh?
I'm not. Why does it have to be extreme? You asked me if it's ever happened. I said yes. And what do I normally do? One, depending on there are times where I'm like, I'm done eating, right? And there's some times that I'm just like, I take that out. I'm hungry. I gotta go, right? Like you said, the food
Okay.
is tasting good. You know what I mean?
And GA said also smacking while chewing gum or food.
Yeah. My
That
wife hates that
that could
for
be
sure.
annoying, man.
Yeah.
It's just
You know.
especially if it's something wet and you're like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do it.
All right,
But
but tell me this though, because I'm a chewy eater, right? And I'm kind of loud. But to me, it's like when you let the oxygen in, it mixes with the flavor and it just tastes better than a closed mouth eater. I'm just saying, bro. You don't know what I'm talking about? Try open
mm,
mouth eating. See how you'll be even better.
what do you mean open mouth eating? Like chewing loud?
Yeah, just chew and open your mouth, letting oxygen in, and by doing that, you're also making them chewing noises. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't eat that way. I'm civilized, my brother.
You're civilized. You don't like burps. You know what I mean? You don't eat. So I'm the animal, right? I'm the freaking animal here.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. You know, yeah, I mean, you're you're like Jack Black, man. You're that panda with the nunchucks and just eating hair. I don't know, man. But here though, here just not for me, man. Not for me.
Yeah.
Um, let me ask you a question though. This is not a pet peeve. Have you ever had sexual relation with a woman and she coughed?
Yes.
What goes
Yeah.
through your mind at that point? Especially if it's somebody you met, let's say you guys been dating for a month, you guys are having sexual relations and she coughs. What's your reaction?
Um. Eight. So, I can see how it could be a potential like distraction from what's going on. Like you're getting all hot and heavy, and they cough, especially now with like COVID. You cough, it's like I'm with.
Forget COVID.
Okay, so
Just
the scenario you said is just you've been with someone for like a month, right?
yeah.
Look, man, I eat fucking food with
Just say
hair in
it,
it, so
man.
like I don't think it's bothering
Dude,
me.
you ate pubes.
I don't
Just
eat.
say it.
Look, I don't eat pubes. For the record, I don't.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna be the weird dude. Listen, I've had that happen to me. It was a little bit weird. Did I stop? Nope. Did I ask questions? Nope. You know what I did? I asked it to do it again because
I know. Oh my god. Okay, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
everything just tightens up. It's something I never experienced before, and I was like, wait. I was confused. We were both confused. I was like, I wait. I got questions. I hope you're not sick. That one said, whoa, it's tight pressure.
It's like Kegels.
It,
Does it Kegel exercises? That's what they call it.
yeah. I'm just letting you know, man.
That's too much. That's
If
too
you
much.
want to try something weird, something freaky out there, hey, this is Hot Mic. So Hot Mic is we just go everywhere
So
for a couple minutes.
every guy out there now, their girl's sick. She's like, "Hey, babe, let's go, let's go." She
Yeah.
can't stop coughing. She coughs every 5 seconds. Let's go.
Like I said before, man,
Too much.
you could be in the other room and she's out there moaning, having a good time. Me, all you hear is cough, man. The louder the cough, the better time we're having. So
Oh my god.
let me ask you this: have you ever been in a situation when you're about to get freaky, and you're in your boxer and she farts? Do you stop or do you continue? As a guy, it's
I
sexy
mean, that
time.
stuff.
She's
That stuff.
looking good,
Look,
and then she lets one go.
I'm not 20. That stuff doesn't really affect me. I'm not saying that. I'm all about it. I'm not getting freaky like that, but like it's not a deal breaker. I guess is the way that I'm going. You know what I mean?
That's
But
nasty, dude.
but then
What
again,
if what if the room smells?
I we got to open up. Some,
You know what I'm saying? What about if it's a stinky fart though?
everybody has stinky farts, man. Let people live, man.
Nah, that's not the time to do it, man. Because
No, it's not. I agree. Not accidental, but yo, you just ripping one. You know what I mean? Like I said, you talk about the burp. It's like, hey, you knew it was coming, and you just said, "Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna let it." I'm
nah,
gonna leave it. Or it's like a little, one of the sneaky ones that got out and happened to be stinky.
yo, the way I figure that the way I look at it is when you're doing that, you're so focused on that thing, your mind, your body, that you don't hear people burping while they're doing that. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody does it, it's like, whoa, hold on a second. You're not sick, are you? Because your mind and body is so into what you're doing that like sometimes your body just won't do all this craziness.
Mm.
I'm just saying, man.
I mean, to each their
So you're
own.
saying, wait, so that doesn't stop you?
I don't think so.
Damn, man, dude. Like,
Are we gonna probably need a timeout? Depends on the scenario. But hey, nah, no.
so, so what will stop you besides like a family
Yeah,
emergency? What will
yeah.
stop you?
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that would stop me. But I'm
Give me
just
one.
saying, someone fucking bleeding, someone's dying. Heart
Well,
attack.
no, no,
Those
but
are those are. It's not like, hey,
besides like
let me
a
get two more
life
pumps.
emergency.
I'm having a stroke, but let me get two more pumps. That ain't happening. I'm done. Like
No, but
a
like, how
phone
about
call. You know.
no emergency stuff? Is there anything? A knock on the door?
Oh yeah, I got kids, so yeah, for sure.
Oh,
That'll
okay.
change the game real quick.
Yeah. Okay. You
You
know what
know,
I do? Especially I got a kid.
you give them Nyquil.
No. What? No. You see this TV behind me?
Yeah, put on
I
blast.
usually no, put some sports on
Yeah.
because sports is about an hour to 2 hour of a game, right? Especially soccer.
Hmm.
If there's no game on, by the way, what you guys can do is go to NFL. What's that channel? NFL, NBA TV, NFL
Hmm.
TV. They always doing reruns. So if there's no live sports, you still got sports on there. So you got backup.
Hmm.
and I'll put a glass of water right in front of it. Um, and my thing, hopefully, that tells the person in the house is like, "Hey, I'm watching the game right now. I'm just using the bathroom."
What?
That's just how I think, man. You know,
So, so that's the sign. That's the do not disturb sign, or the distraction to what you're really doing, or you're not really gone. You're
right?
get out.
It's an indirect sign without saying anything, but it's also a distraction with with the sports in the back. I'm just saying, man. Sometimes you got to be creative when you have a kid in the house, man.
You'd be surprised if you were to ask your kids if they ever heard anything or something like that, and they'd be like,
I, mm,
ask adults. There are adults that probably know. If there's anybody in the chat who has like a mom and dad at home that live there, and did you ever experience some weird stuff going on, weird noises from mom and dad's bed? I bet you a lot of people have.
So you ever had a squeaky bed and then you put the pillow behind the bed and you left it there and forgot about it, and then somebody comes in and is like, "Why is there a pillow there?"
No, I've never. No,
Hey, good for you, man.
uh,
I don't
I don't.
have that bed anymore.
I
I
don't. I
got
don't
rid
mess
of it.
with. I don't mess with headboards like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, you got to keep it interesting, dude. I'm telling you, man. Uh, I'm just saying.
We're learning.
Kids.
We're learning a lot today. We're learning a lot today.
Hey, listen, man. You got to keep it funky sometimes, man.
Nah, I got you, man. It's like. Never mind. That's congrats. Oh yeah, that's what's up.
Hey, man. We appreciate that, man. My parents
Uh,
aren't freaks.
well, you're
I'm
here,
not a.
right? They're kind of freaky a little bit.
Oh, they had to be.
I'm just saying.
And your name is Daily Dose. Mom and dad, a daily dose of that. I mean, it's the reason why you're here, buddy. But
Yeah.
anyways, is that it? You have any more other than driving, road rages and stuff? Nothing else?
That's
And
pretty
you're okay
simple,
with
man.
eating
Look,
pukes?
yeah. I mean, if the, I can see thumbnails now. Don't do it. No, I'm pretty simple, man. Like the traffic stuff, but for the most part, I do me. I don't worry about other people. What you do, don't make me,
What,
you know,
what about
solid point.
what about people that are so hard headed? Like when you try to tell them something, they just can't. They just can't. They don't want to budge. They don't want to listen to you. They just. It's like no. What you have to say is nothing. Like that don't bother you. It's
Nope.
not a
You know,
pet peeve, but like.
so my I have a philosophy with that because I've been in a situation in my job where you help people, you mentor people, you train people, um,
Mhm.
and they say you can take a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I agree with that, right?
Yeah.
In my field, in my expertise, I've got a lot of knowledge, I've got a lot of wisdom. I think at least compared to the people that I'm in charge of. You know what I'm saying? And if you
Mhm.
don't want to learn, then I'm not gonna go out of my way to teach you, right? Because I think that my knowledge and my information is valuable. So I will give it to the one who wants. I'll give the knowledge and the information and the nuggets of gold to the one who wants it. And then that's the
Gotcha.
person's going to do the right stuff with it, right? I got friends that I was like, no, I'm going to take that horse to the water and I'm going to shove its head underwater until it drinks or drowns, right? And it's a different style of leadership. And you don't want it,
Yeah.
that's fine. I'm not going to push you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that used to get me upset when the people that does that, man. But I've learned to just, as soon as you see that, I mean, you can see the sign, and then you're just like, you know what? If you're not gonna listen, you're not gonna budge. Then I don't lose. It's on you. You lose the potential of learning something. So, but yeah, man, hard headed people just get on my nerves, though, man. They just don't budge. They stand on their stuff, man.
Yeah,
But
like the hard headed people that like put the blinker and they don't turn. They go straight. They make you angry.
yeah, do you have the nunchucks in the car still,
I don't have the nunchuck. They actually took it. The cop took it.
bro?
It was a weapon.
Wow.
I tried to get it back. I was like, "What you trying? Give me my $50 back then, or something." You know what I mean? And take my nunchucks.
So what are you, a white belt, green belt, black belt? What are you right now?
I'm a black belt. I'm not joking. I'm a damn black belt. You want some smoke? Come get it.
Nah, I'm good, man. My parents were black. Well, my mom was a black belt back in the day, and I'm good. I'm good.
My
I'll
mom was a
pass.
black belt, brown belt, sandal belt.
True.
whatever yardstick, because that happened. You know what I mean? Like,
Open
uh,
palm.
hmm
Yeah. Five deadly venoms. Open palm. Pop, pop, pop. Yep. I've had all those too, man. All right. Let's talk about this AB who just finished I think cool, nice interview with one of our favorite podcasts out there, The Pivot. Um, I actually ended up watching it twice. I was actually working, watching it again for the second time, and I got a couple of things from it, which was pretty good, man. And you guys, if you guys watch us, you know that we kind of watch both and we like both, but I think Pivot is a little bit more of my favorite than I Am Athlete right now. But I'm not saying they're bad right now. And both of these guys, I Am Athlete and Pivot, they both had a chance to sit down with Antonio Brown, football player, um, and they both did an interview with him. And we had a lot of criticism, kind of, on I Am Athlete when they interviewed Antonio Brown. Things like not letting him speak. There was no kind of connection there. It just
we didn't.
felt,
There was no resolution to like the
yeah,
questions that we had. Like to really answer it. And
it was
looking
all
back
over
on
the
it,
place.
yeah, looking back on it, they did, but they didn't go. They didn't deep dive. They like we didn't.
Right.
It didn't leave the audience, at least in my opinion, the audience um, with a resolved answer to the question, like what happened. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, and why,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Because I don't know what it is. I don't know if he was comfortable more with the pivot, which I think he was. And I think one of the biggest question would have been the Bruce Arians situation. And I feel like he answered it on the Pivot podcast, but not I Am Athlete.
Yeah, they didn't even get to
Um,
it because that's what I'm saying. When
so
you don't get to the bottom layers
yeah.
of stuff, because that's real important, and that's some of the points that the notes that I took that I want to talk about as well, because um, it's important. But like because he went on both of those shows, and he went on other places too, like
Yeah.
Full Send and all that other stuff.
Hmm.
But since we talked about these two podcasts, I'm Athlete and Pivot, and him and Antonio Brown being on both podcasts, you're able to see the comparisons, and there's nothing wrong with being different, but it's just
Yeah.
the environment in Pivot was way better. Like the chemistry, this is a safe space and you're allowed to be you and explain how without being attacked and without being judged. That was the environment that the guys in Pivot did that I noticed was lacking on I Am Athlete. I Am Athlete, you know, there was one question that Antonio Brown was asked on the I Am Athlete, and he could have answered it. But as Antonio Brown started answering it, you know, Brandon came in and just was asking another question on top of it. And I was like, bro, you just cut him off. Just let him talk.
Right.
Right. And that's what the Pivot folks did. They let him talk. And when he got it all out, they asked another very important question. And it was nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think you might hear me saying kind of, I think we might both share the same um, outcome of this interview because I felt the same way. Like they actually just let him talk. Like sometimes the more you let him go, you might get a little bit more. And in his in AB's mind, he's gonna keep adding to it, add to it, and add to it. And that's the stuff that you get that sometimes you ask a question, but you get an answer that you didn't expect,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And they did let him talk, and I think that was great. One of the biggest points, I mean, do you want to bring up a point? Because the first one that I have is that the coach Bruce Arians stuff that he said, how he explained it, and and he also asked Ryan Clark, who he played with uh, when he first came in the league with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's almost like he looked at Ryan and he was saying all these things about the coach, like. If I say it, you probably wouldn't believe me. But the fact that he looked at Ryan, he was saying, "Hey, you were there when these things happened. This
Yeah.
happened," and Ryan just like, and to me, that sort of makes sense. Um, because I don't think AB would just lash out on one little thing like this. And he even asked Ryan, "How would you react?" Especially you knowing this guy, and he's
Yeah.
just like, I wouldn't
Yeah,
know how to
it's when
react.
it was very good. I mean,
So
how he said it. It was in the moment. It was very vulnerable, and it was very to the point when he was talking about the history with the Steelers. And he says, you and I know,
hmm
right? My work ethic and my skill set in playing football. You and I know how Bruce Arians treated me, right? When we
you
were
and
out there
I
in the field.
know.
You and I know how Bruce Arians was saying that AB doesn't know all the route running, doesn't know he doesn't have the intelligence to be the X, right? He's like, you
Yep.
and I know. And as he's going through these you and I know stuff, he's opening up. And I think that was the question, not to sidetrack, but that was one of the questions that he was starting to answer, but in a different way on the I Am Athlete. But then he got sideswiped with another question that had nothing to do with what he was just asked before that, right? So them allowing him to do that, and Ryan just we're looking for Ryan to see if he's agreeing, and he's like, yep, and he
Yeah.
confirmed it. And there was a lot of that going on, right? So not to hijack it, but this conversation had me pretty excited because the first 10 minutes is, if you're paying attention, is great,
hmm
right? They all come together, they hug it out, and everyone's talking. And the first thing I'm looking at is AB and RC. Like, how's that going to go down? Because we've been hearing how like it's would be. It was. They were like, yo, we're. It was back then. It was a falling out. We didn't come in and reach out to each other. And Ryan said it right. He said I should have reached out to you and talked to you offline, and he didn't, right? But so that was one piece. The other piece was the Bruce Arians stuff, right? And then the history and what happened with the Bucks and why he walked off. He talked about that very well, right? And they let him explain all that stuff. But
But
there were
can you
more things.
see though? But can you
Good.
see how he would kind of? I'm not saying what the way he reacted was okay, but he there's a history there. So
Absolutely.
and if he feels like he's not, because what he said was he said I stand for respect and boundaries.
Yep. I
So
think I got that written down. Yeah, absolutely.
right, so if that's how he feels and you don't respect that and you don't respect his boundaries, you cross that line, especially if he's probably said it to you before and you're still doing it and you probably still see him as this person, like you said, not smart enough to play this position
Right.
or whatever. And this is still after the fact that he's he's proved himself in the NFL because
Right.
Bruce Arians moved on. This is what 7 years later, right?
Yep.
In his career, and yes, and who knows? He's probably still not showing him love and respect. He's
Right.
probably still not respecting him. But
Yeah.
those
And
are
and
things that we don't know,
and that's probably a
right?
two-way street. So, like, of course, the way that it blew up,
Yeah,
and he even mentioned, he goes, it's like stuff on top of stuff just keeps piling on and piling on, and eventually is
yeah,
going to react. And he goes, that's what that was. So, and it wasn't just when AB joined the Bucks. It goes way back into the Steelers when the team was
right,
disorganized, right? Bruce
true.
Arians was the offensive coordinator, and I didn't know that, right?
I
So I
didn't
didn't know
either.
they had history when Tom Brady, which AB called the GOAT, called me to move the mountain. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, I went because my boy, the GOAT, said, hey, come out and help us out. And then I'm pretty sure, if the GOAT or Tom Brady went to Bruce Arians and said, hey, I want, AB to come out here, Bruce Arians probably already had a history with him and already
Yeah,
knew. He already had this. He's like, nah, he's a troublemaker. He's a diva and he's all this other stuff. But he was like, all right, because the GOAT wanted him,
right,
right? So he tolerated AB. And then while they were there, he probably didn't treat him as nicely as he was probably treating some of the people that he probably liked. So that stuff
right.
starts to add up. And then what you were talking about, AB, talking about the respect. The thing he said he's about respect and he stands on his principles, right?
hmm
He goes, it's not about the money. Everybody's like, you just gave up $30 million. He goes, I'm already rich.
Right,
It's not about the money. When you get to that point where it's not about the money and you feel like someone's disrespecting you or treating you unfairly, then you just don't mess with them. You move
right.
on, whether it's in the middle of a game or not, right? He doesn't
Yeah,
need that.
but it's true though. I mean, we're just looking at like you said, we're looking at headlines. We're looking at people on TV. Just we think they do their research and they know what they're talking about, like ESPN when they report something, right? But these guys don't know too much really either, because if these reporters know the past history, then you can go, I get it. I can see why that would happen. I didn't hear any ex players saying that when they talked about AB. They just the one thing that they go after AB is the mental stuff, and And one thing he said was, "My name is sexy. My name on the front
Yeah,
page is sexy."
right. It
And that is
sells. Yeah.
so true, bro. Because soon as every time I turn on ESPN and they're talking about AB, it's the same thing. They're not talking about the money that or the stuff that he's doing for other people, or him setting up his life besides football, like on and off the field. These are things that you're not gonna hear. You're gonna hear how he's an ass. He did this, he did that. But I think that's what this, or just having a podcast, have a conversation with someone, is you get those things. And this is one of those things with I Am Athlete. I was just like, why wouldn't you ask direct question? He's there. Ask him. On top of that, you edit your show. So if things go left, edit that out.
Hmm.
Get him back on. Hey, let's restart. Let me ask you a question. Maybe I'll ask it a different way. Let's
Hmm.
restart. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But these are questions. These are stuff that I really enjoyed, that we got from the pivot in AB's interview. And it's true. You put AB's name on it, it looks amazing. It's sexy. It sells, and people want to click on it. It's clickbait.
Yeah.
And like he said, I'm working to make money, not just on the field but off the field.
Right.
And some people will say, "Well, you're not focused on football. You probably don't love it." I don't know. All I hear about AB is he's a hard worker, so I can't take that away from him. But like
Right.
he said, where's all the OGs that retired, was a good boy, didn't do all that stuff? A lot of them are broke, right?
Right.
So I thought that was something profound that he said, is like, where's the OGs at? Where
Yeah,
are
they,
they?
they played the
Where's
game,
the
they
money?
followed the rules, they got kind
Yeah,
of like sent away, and you don't hear what happens to them and their successes after that, because a lot of them aren't. A lot of them are back to being broke, right? And
yeah,
he says, I'm one of those that I'm not going to do that. And they talked about how he has his relationship with Floyd Mayweather, he has his relationship with
right.
Kanye, and he's the president of the sports marketing on for Donda. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So he's doing big things, because damn well those two names together are going to bring all kinds of prospects to want to have an agent, under that umbrella. Like, that's going to be
Yeah.
big, right? So that means good on AB, right? And this leads me to the point where people are like, he's just wild and crazy. And this is the piece when OG comes up, and I love this part. It was literally like 5 minutes in, right after Ryan Clark told AB that he apologized, and that shit was a real moment for that. But right
Yeah.
after that, when Fred was talking, he was giving AB his flower and he's telling him, he goes, look, he says, you're calculated. He says your hard work matches your passion. I got it on my notes
Mm,
here, and he says AB is calculated in everything that he does, and he's smart and hardworking. So he knows that, because Fred knows what it's like to be a hard worker and a talented athlete. When you combine that together, you just become great. And if
mhm.
AB was the greatest receiver for 6 years, then it has to be something. It's not just talent. There's
Right.
smart to that, right? There's calculation to that. So and while Fred was giving him those flowers and saying, if you were that then, I find it hard to believe that you're not still that now.
Right.
Everything that you do, you're doing it for calculation. You're doing it for a reason. And here's another example. AB was like, he's like, it also seemed like you dropped your album right after that. He's like, was that planned? AB was like, yeah, I had music sitting there already. So when I know my name's going to be in the news, I'm also going to drop that album, because guess what? Everyone's going to go listen to that too. If
Yeah.
that's not calculating,
I did. It makes sense to me.
that's what I'm
Y'all,
saying.
y'all are talking about me. Here's a track.
But on that note, and that's the other piece that it was the Ryan Clark piece and them squashing it like grown men, showing us what it's like to apologize for your actions and then forgive your buddy for whatever stuff that you guys had a falling off on. That was great. That's big to see. That's one. The other one was the what happened with Bruce Arians. Now you know that there's a history, and it gives you more of an understanding to be like, yeah, it's more likely than not that Bruce Arians was probably doing more stuff than it's just AB losing his mind. That was the other one. None of this that we really got from the other interviews, right? But I didn't see
Mhm.
all the interviews, so I can't say that across the board. The other piece was the fact that these guys were out here giving each other flowers, giving each other respect, right? So Fred talking about AB and solidifying him as a great receiver, because
Right.
there's something about someone great and someone accomplished giving you credit in front of your peers and everybody else, right?
Right.
So Fred did that to AB. AB did that for Ryan Clark, called him a Hall of Fame safety, captain of the defense, right? Being like, that's the man that went to. We beefed because I had beef with the other defensive players because they couldn't handle me. So they had to go to him to come and check me,
Right.
right? So that he just, like, before that, the things you heard about Ryan Clark was he ain't got no spleen. You know what I mean? He little, he can't fight. But like AB's like, he's a dog. He's that dude. He said,
That's
he said,
that's
what
when
would you
Chan looked at him, was like, "What did you say about him?"
Right. And he was like, what would you have done if the coach told you to get the F out of here? He goes, you probably would have smacked him. He goes, what you mean I would have smacked him? He goes, why gotta be all that? Because AB knew he was a dog.
Right.
And I think in my eyes, and hopefully in other people's eyes, people give RC the respect that he probably deserves, because a lot of players that come and go that did a lot of great things, but people don't recognize except for those that were on the field with him and practiced and played with him.
Yeah, I think Ryan Clark probably deserves his own little interview just for people that are fans to get to know him outside of football, because I think a lot of people don't know him outside of football.
I'm enjoying getting to
So
know him through the podcast little by little, right?
yeah,
Here's another piece. Right after Fred was giving AB his flowers, and then Ryan was like, man, shut up. He's like, you do this every time,
yeah,
because he's dropping one of those OG Fred moments,
it's
and
like
it's
the
so great. But it wasn't like he didn't interrupt it. He added to it. He brought us into it, this type of like energy that they're just boys hanging out, and
right.
he's clowning him a little bit, but in a good way. He's
It's
like, you always do
respect,
this. It was
playful.
great. It was great.
Yeah,
I found myself laughing out loud and enjoying that moment. And that was all within the first 10 minutes. I was like,
yeah,
this is insane.
and it's just them being themselves as well. It wasn't like anything like you said. It was just adding to the conversation, and it wasn't forced. And yeah, you're right though, man. You got to give flowers whenever you can, and that's why I said in the beginning sometimes, man. Because like when I watched ESPN, it's always like, "Oh, Ryan is saying this about AB," but and they're going at it. But when they're in the room and it's face to face, it's nothing but love and respect. It's
Right.
almost like what fight?
Yeah, but
What
I,
fight?
and I agree, and I think they understand it, and I think other people need to understand too. When Ryan's on, the NFL networks and the sports talk channels, he's
Yeah.
got a job to do. He has to talk about what everybody else is talking about, right?
No, I
There's
get it.
way more that he could add to it, but that's not the point. The point is to talk about it and try
Nobody
to
wants
bring
to
as
hear
much light.
that.
Right. So that part I understand. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it seems, and I don't know all the details, but it seems like Ryan was kind of pretty harsh on him, and he probably could have been, because they had just beefed, and he's like, "Nah, I don't like him," because they talked about the money, 42 million, and they had a disagreement. It's funny how they had a disagreement on how it went down.
Yeah.
AB said, "Oh, you said, oh, he got that money. Now he acting crazy." But Ryan's like, "No, you said 42 mil first. You said I'm there." He's running a route. They're hitting him, and he goes, $42 million. This is how y'all treating me? And then he goes, "Oh," and that's when Ryan was like, "Oh, now he got money."
Yeah.
And that's easy when there's already tension built. When offense is versus the defense, and the team is not like AB said, they didn't have camaraderie, right? The team was in shambles.
Right.
They were fighting all the time. When Troy Polamalu was fighting, goddamn, what's going on?
Yeah, I know, right? When they
You
said
know?
that, I was like, "Whoa!" I
Yeah,
thought this
Troy,
was the
Troy
same.
Polamalu, he's never not working.
Yeah, I was like, I thought that was the most humblest guy around, and
Right,
he's getting into fights.
right.
Something's not right in there. But
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. But it was good, man. I enjoyed it.
yeah, it was a good
88 up,
interview.
84 down.
Yeah, yeah. When I heard that, I was like, man, that right there, that's tough to hear. Like you said, I go in, I get a touchdown, I'm on the bench. I do this, I do that, I'm on the bench.
Right.
And when 88 is up, 84 is down. Yo, that's got to stick with him. If that's the actual quote, that would
Yeah.
never leave him.
Yeah, here's another thing that AB said that hit me. It hits different in the way that I took what he said. He was talking about his injury, right? Because people were like, "Is it the
Oh
incentives? Is
yeah,
it?" So it was the disrespect first and foremost, I believe, and then it was, incentives going to want him to be out there to try hard, even though he's hurt. He's going
of
to go out
course.
there and try to make it happen because it's a team effort, right? But the injury piece is when he was talking about it. He said, he goes, yeah, I still run 15 miles an hour, but he goes, I got this injury that requires surgery to repair. It's not going to repair on its own. He had RC verify, right?
Yeah,
Then he said, I can't keep doing that. He goes, I can run 15 miles an hour and I can make it look easy, you know what I mean? This and that. He goes, I can't keep doing that because I'm gonna kill myself. So
Hmm.
when he realized like I couldn't do anything, he goes, he gave them one. He gave him a heads up that he was still hurt and it was not looking good this game. And then they like, hey, give us what you can. And then when he says I can't, they're gonna turn around and be like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like that's a level of disrespect. You're giving someone your all. Just put yourself in his mentality. You're giving it all, and then as soon as you can't, you're done. You're using me,
Yeah. Especially playing on an injury that could only be repaired with surgery,
and you've been playing on it.
and you're still playing. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
I
like you
mean,
just got to
yeah.
look at it. Read between the lines.
Yeah, but it's good to hear it though, instead of just like, oh yeah, he did this. Look how everybody react. I wasn't like dogging him. I was just saying, yeah, the reaction wasn't was not good. The way you
Yeah,
reacted in the middle of, but when you hear all that stuff and he showed the text messages, yeah, I let them know that I was injured. First of all, NFL, you have trainers. They are there to go and report injuries. As a matter of fact, they have to report it to the league. This is how on uh what is it, by Thursday, I believe, all that has to
mhm.
be in so they can put it out, say, oh, this guy's injured. So all that was there, and still I think it's just the disrespectful thing, man. I kind of believe him. I believe him.
Yeah, and that's the point. The
And
point of giving them this opportunity to come out here and talk. Don't cut him off. Ask the right questions and listen when he's saying stuff. And we get this product. Now we know.
yeah,
I don't need to watch another. I don't think I need to watch another. AB. I will because it's just entertaining and it gets me. It
yeah,
opens up my eyes that in the beginning, I was like, man, this guy, he lost it. That Vontez perfect hit, and he even said that hit wasn't the biggest hit he's ever taken.
yeah. That's funny though.
You know what I'm saying? That's pretty interesting. But it's not him going crazy. It's the spin and the way that if
Hey
you're not
man,
doing your research, right, daily, if you're not doing your research, finding things out on your own, and you're just getting wave tops, the loudest person in the room talking is the information you're gonna get. Who's louder than the media?
right?
Nobody. Right? But now you got things like these podcasts that he's going on. He's able to talk about it. So it's good
Yeah.
stuff. Good time for that.
Nah, it's good to see, man. All right, let's do a quick pivot since we're talking about football. It was an alley oop. I had to use the word. So we got your boy over here, Gio. I don't
Yeah,
even
man.
think you know who he is, but we got Mr. Ridley, Calvin Ridley. He's been suspended for the entire following year because he bet on a football game. Now, I understand NFL having the rules, right? There's rules in place. You cannot bet while you're
Right.
playing.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
I get that. What I'm not gonna do also is use the what everybody else is saying. Well, this guy beat his wife and he gets 2 games, right? All that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I get that there's a rule. I don't think this guy getting a whole year and losing $11 million in the process is fair. You can like Tom Brady, a guy that we love and played for a team that we love in Foxborough, Massachusetts, the New England Patriots, actually cheated with the ball. I don't know. I don't care if
Did he
anybody's
though?
cheating. See, I knew that was coming.
Did he though?
Even if it's not, but he did something that he's not supposed to be doing with the ball,
He
right?
likes his balls a little flat.
Some people do, and some people like to eat food with.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I
Just
won't.
don't.
But the ball has to be certain pounds or certain weight before they
Right.
can
There,
play.
there's a
So
amount of pressure in the ball. Yeah, I got it.
right.
Mhm.
So Tom Brady broke the rule, right? Because he can grip it better, right? He can have good full grip on it, and he can throw it better. That's cheating. That's cheating. He
Okay, so
did
here's it.
it.
Do you
It's in
do
the
you
rule.
I know this is a sidebar, but we could do this, right? Do you believe Tom Brady was the one going there with the little pressure thing and just going,
No,
he wasn't, right?
he
Did
wasn't.
he
I
tell
get what.
somebody? And
Yes,
it's
but
possible.
I don't know if the
But
point you're trying to
does
make
he, but
is
here's the thing. If he did that, did he say, yeah, this is right? And then the person
yes.
who's doing it, like, hey, Tom, that's below standard. Like there's a lot of gray
But
area in
Gio,
this. That's all
even
I'm
if he
saying.
didn't even touch the ball, Like I
I
know
get it.
this guy has instruction. He
I
knows.
know. I know what you're. I
Get
know
it
what you're
at
saying.
22 psi, whatever. That's all you need
So
to know.
Ridley bet. I don't know a lot about. I heard about this in the wave top, so I'm
So
just kind of going off of this. Is this while a game that he played? Do we know this?
no, this is because remember, you and I spoke about this. He took a mental health,
Yeah,
right? So
a break.
so
He
he's
took a
out.
break in the beginning of the season. So
So
is
what?
that this year that he did this?
Yes, while he was taking the break.
He
That's
wasn't
what I'm.
playing. The okay.
He was not playing. So he
The
could not
main
make any like he couldn't
he
do
couldn't
anything to
affect the
affect the
outcome of the
game.
game. Right.
No. Plus, he bet on Atlanta to win, not to lose.
Yeah, there's a lot of fishiness to it, but at the same time, I don't know all the details.
But
And I'm
Gio,
sure there's but I bet you this, as a catch-all, there's probably a clause in the NFL uh, agreement with the players that they will not bet on any NFL games. Because that way you rule out any doubt,
of
whether
course.
you if you're an active member in any way, even if you're on a break, that you will not. I bet you, if I would look it up, I bet that's probably how they do it. There's
No,
never,
it's there. It's there.
yeah. So he
But
violated it,
yeah,
but it's
but
still fishy though.
are you telling me that there's no players telling their cousins to bet for them on your phone, not my
Yeah,
phone?
that's one that's a whole another thing. But yeah, is that
But
possibly happening? Probably.
right, and he came out. He was like, "Yeah, I bet 1,500 on my team to win. I was just
Yeah.
at home." You know what I'm saying? He
Hey,
wasn't. It's not like he
support your
can.
team the best way you can. Make money and root for them.
As a matter of fact, a lot of people are
Sounds
saying,
good.
first of all, this man put up 1,500 and lost 11 million. That's a terrible bet.
Yeah, he bet wrong. He's already got punished. Leave him alone.
He That's the point. But like when somebody cheats, like Tom Brady did, and Tom Brady's my guy, New England's my guy, but he did something against the rules, got 4 games.
So what are you trying to say?
I'm saying he doesn't deserve a whole year to lose 11 million,
Yeah,
bro.
is that what it is? It's a year punishment for that?
It's a whole year,
Yeah,
and
I
fans are
think
pushing for NFL ban, like for betting when he wasn't even playing, and he can't even change the outcome. Where I guarantee you, there's players having somebody else's phone or a second phone to do this anyway.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it that you can go all kinds of ways with it, right? It's like one person advocating towards the punishment is like the gambling
Yeah,
piece is a big deal, right? It is. They want to make sure that they deter any players from doing that at all. So anytime that's one of those like zero tolerance type situations. Like you violate this, you're screwed. And there are other stuff that's probably a little bit less. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, say, people compare the beating the girlfriend, right? Beating your girlfriend doesn't affect the game. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want it to come across the wrong way, but betting on the game and trying to lose the game affects the shield, right? You
it's the
you
shield,
yeah, you being, you know, a woman beater or whatever you are, it affects you, and then by proxy affects the league, and they are responsible
right?
to hold you accountable. So that's how they get affected. But one of them affects the NFL directly, and the other one is indirectly. So you got to give the weight of the punishment. And I still, from the 10% that I know about the situation, that a year is too much.
Yeah,
A
but
year is
even
too much.
so, though, like putting your hands on a woman is wrong, but that's also considered a crime, though.
Yeah, let the police handle that. That's their
Right,
job.
but the betting is not against the law. Like, as a matter of fact, this is not a joke. I watched ESPN. I watched NFL Network. Guess what commercial they had on?
The gambling ones, the apps with the gam. Yeah, of course. I mean, because they
Right. So I
want you to
just
do it.
think
They don't want them to do it.
right. It's true. I just think a year is crazy. You can give him 6 games, but to make him
Yeah,
lose 11 million, bro, for a
I
year,
think 4 games is good. But you know what? Throw my conspiracy hat. There's probably more to it potentially. Like what we don't know what happened. Let's pivot.
I don't trust the NFL anymore.
Hey,
Like,
can Pivot get Ridley on there so we can talk about this? If the
oh,
case is not,
oh, you
let's
know
make it
that's
happen.
coming.
And I bet you, I
You
don't
don't
bet
think that's coming?
because I don't gamble, but
He's got a whole year. He's going to the pod.
I'm willing to believe that there's more to it, right? One, what's up with his uh, mental health stuff, right? Because we care, not because I just, you know what I mean? Like for
Right.
someone to have all that money, all that stuff, and all of a sudden just like bow out, something's up. And good on him
Yeah.
for doing that and seeking that and taking a break for himself. But you have that, and then all of a sudden he does a little something, something that seems like it's a big deal, but he didn't bet 500,000. He didn't make 300,000, right? He bet us chump change in the NFL's eyes,
Oh yeah, you
right?
kidding
It's
me?
still wrong, but like there's levels of it. $1,500 is like pennies to players
Yeah,
and the NFL. So that ain't it. And in order to punish him for a year and take $11 million, something is afoot, as they say.
yeah, yeah. I just think to I just I get it, but give him 6 games, man, and then to make him lose 11 million because
I
he
would appeal it.
he
Brady
bet on
appealed
his
it and
team to
won.
win. He bet on his team to win. It's the Falcons. I would bet them to lose. He was like, "No, it's my team. I'm going to put some money
Yeah.
down that they're going to win the game."
I would just appeal and be like, look, I'll take, I'm willing to take,
Yeah,
I agree that I did something wrong. Maybe I thought because I didn't play that it didn't apply. Like, just own up to it. But then also be like, a year and all this money ain't, that's not the crime, the punishment is not matching the crime in the situation.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And
I
then
just
and
want
then they can also say he ain't the first one that's done this. So you go back and look at history. That's the one thing that I would say anybody who's interested in stuff, look at the last time somebody did that and what was the punishment? Is it equal? Is it different? And if it is,
they don't have that in this sport. People bring up Pete Rose who bet on baseball, and they just that they said no, you're out of this league forever. His name was taken off everything
yeah,
that involves baseball, and I get it, but he was playing. He was a coach putting in the players, so
right,
he's affecting the game.
right.
This guy wasn't even playing. He's at home just going, "Oh, FanDuel." Let me. I mean, I did it before I got on air.
Look,
Like I
man,
made my
you know
picks.
what's worse? The alleged supposed accusation of the Miami owner telling friggin' the coach to throw games. That's worse.
So not only, well, yeah, at least that one they're gonna do the investigation, but they better do something about that though, because if they don't,
Yeah, but the
some
NFL came back
yeah,
real quick and was like, "All that stuff is good. We don't." Literally, the next, it was the same day when they sent their like. How do you do an investigation in 10 minutes?
yeah, yeah,
It took them longer to write that tweet or text or response than they did the investigation.
yeah. It's just so too weird,
But that
man.
it just sheds a light on what's going on with the NFL and some of that
The
stuff.
John
I
Gruden
love the sport.
situation,
I love the
uh,
sport, but it's got some issues. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
all those John Gruden emails, they're like, yeah, we're still investigating. Really? You
And
found nothing?
out of all that stuff, he ain't the only one that's saying stuff. He was just a scapegoat. Everyone
Yeah,
believes that.
it's
You
like
know
you
what I mean?
found nothing, but
Oh,
then
they
you
found
found,
something. They
oh,
gave us
of
him.
course,
They gave
yeah.
us him. You know?
Then you find this guy who's at home betting on his team to win. It's one thing if he was like dropping passes on
Yeah,
purpose to
and
like,
he's playing, dropping passes,
yeah,
losing, and then
yeah,
making money. You know what I
or
mean?
yeah. So I don't get it, man.
Yeah,
I just don't get it.
I
But
I,
I
I,
mean, I
I want to see
understand
more.
the rules is rules. It's there. I get it. But come on, man. A
Yeah,
year, 11 million, and what? And I don't get it though, because like I play FanDuel. And obviously, I'm playing on a pool that's like, I'm not going over $30.
yeah,
But on my pool, the most that I can win is about 1 million. You know what I'm saying? So he's putting down 1,500. So he might be getting a good 2, 3 million. But if you're getting 11 this year, bro, just play the sport you love and collect that 11 million.
mhm,
Unless, like you said, then that mental
yeah,
thing is really playing with him where he doesn't even want to go play.
yeah,
So I don't know. It
yeah.
could be that, man.
Get him on the pivot, and then we'll see what's up.
Wait, why pivot? Why not I am athlete? Oof, damn man, that's
Did you see um, the I Am Athlete with Lil Wayne? Seen that one?
yeah, that was a good one.
It was all right. They were letting loose. It seemed a
Yeah,
little forced, like trying hard, or I don't know. It
no,
was,
I think Brandon is the one that forces things. He's got to be the loudest in the room.
but he's letting loose in a reckless kind of. I don't know, man. I don't want to slander
Yeah,
people's name, but it just felt, you know,
well, that's my point.
it's all
He's
right.
just like, I got to be loud. Look at me, and
That
he and
maybe that's who he is.
That is who he is.
Maybe he's coming out and showing who he really is, and now he's growing. He's an entrepreneur. He's a great man. I got no beef with him, in regards to that. But of course, because we're comparing, you know, the situation that happened between him and the Pivot Boys, um,
Yeah.
it just shines a light
Yeah.
on that. But I'll still watch it. It was pretty decent.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was funny when Wayne brought up the honest because I think I
one,
said it to you before. I was like, yo, does anybody hear
yo,
this dude when he says
he's
that?
got he's got college degrees, man. He's a smart man. Don't.
No, no, I'm not making fun of of the guy. I'm just saying the way he says the word honest.
Yeah,
Honest, but I don't know, man. Hey, uh I think the NFL should just I don't know if he can take it to court or whatever.
he
I
can
don't know
appeal
what
it. He
I
should
don't
be
know if
able.
he
There's an
can.
appeals process. He should be able to appeal it. Tom
Yeah,
Brady did.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. Well, we'll see, man. I think 6 games would have been okay. Then every other player would get the message after that. It's like, okay, well, they're looking into this stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and they're working closely with these betting sites. It's like, oh, you're using your real name. You didn't use a fake avatar or anything. Like, bruh, you know what I'm
Use your
saying? He
cousin.
wasn't even trying to hide it, dog. He
Yeah.
was just like,
Yeah.
yeah. And and like Daily Dose said, what a legend. Bet lost and he admitted to it.
I know, right?
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't trying to hide it. He's like, it's just I'm not playing. It's just I don't know, man. I think 6 game would I think would be okay, but I don't know, man. I think we should leave it here. Uh and I appreciate you guys coming by, just saying hello. Daily dose. Hopefully you don't get mad when I said your mom was anyways, given daily dose, and that's why you're here, man. So hopefully you didn't
Hey,
take that to the heart,
everybody
man.
got a little freak in them. That's why we here.
That is true, man. All right, so like I said, man, episode 6. I'm happy we got there. Let's look forward to 7 next week. Uh, God will, we'll be here, and we'll do it again. Gio, anything you want to say?
No, man, I'm just happy we're able to get to number 6. And keep it moving, having a good time. Any suggestions on anything for us to talk about? Because I try to keep it light, keep it entertaining, give y'all a peek behind the curtain and how we hang out, how we chill, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. Hey, if you guys like, shout outs to Gabby because Gabby uh said, "Why don't you guys talk about pet peeves and stuff?" So that was kind of fun. So all the sex stuff, just let me know, man. I like to talk about that stuff, man. I got
So you
I got a lot,
you got some chanting in you?
a little
Is it?
bit. Well, pause. Whoa, 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 whoa.
No, not that kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like personality wise, man. Stop being like that.
Nah, I'm old school, man. I shouldn't take it that way. But yeah, man, just talk about dead internet. Yeah, actually, kid, I think I've said it to Geo before. Like talking about like Bigfoot stuff like that, planets and theories and inner worlds and all that stuff. I don't know if that's what you were talking about, but
Yeah. Do we know? I don't
um,
know what dead internet theory is. I could learn along with everybody else who's watching. What is that? Does anybody know?
I
What is that?
think that I think that's what he's talking about. Like just all of these, like I said, the inner world, those type of things, ghosts and orbs, and I think that would be a good podcast, like on Halloween, though, like to really take a deep dive on like I don't know, Martians and stuff like that. So because I got quite a few, like the Mile High thing. You ever heard of that, Gio?
The Mile High Club?
No, the Mile High. I'm talking about Denver Airport. How the Queen
Uh,
has stuff in the
this
basement,
underneath this. Is it
bro.
the Queen
The Queen has a
or is it the
house
government?
there. The Queen.
Good for her.
But why though? What's going on over there?
Maybe something's there. I don't know.
But
They got mountains, so they're already high up, so they
mhm.
know that the crust is thicker in that area. So that's probably that allows for you to make multiple stories underground. That's really not on. It's underground, but it's above sea level. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, that's the thing. But there's other weird things disappearing. They have artwork in the actual airport, and people started to look at it, and it's like kids getting punished in a weird way. So they're like, "There's some weird with that airport, man." I just started to
I'd have
learn
to check
about
it
it,
out.
dude.
I'll check it
Uh,
out.
and I will definitely do, man. Like stuff like that, though, like a Halloween thing. I think would be cool to just get crazy
I'm down. I'm down for
and just say,
whatever.
"Yeah,
You
I
know,
believe in Bigfoot and all that stuff." I mean, I've been called Bigfoot a couple of times too. So
I
get
don't
the
know what that means.
sex, get the sex question coming, man. We're adults here, dude. We're adults. We can handle it. You
But
know
the
what I
fact that
mean?
you asked for it twice.
Yeah. Keep it fun, bro. We're adults. Nothing wrong with it.
Uh,
We all have it.
yeah,
Everybody here listening, y'all have it. Don't be embarrassed and shy of it, man. You know, pull it out and be proud. All right, man. Well, I appreciate y'all. We'll see you next week. And we're ready for episode 7, man.